Never be screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Never be screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Myrtle Beach Speedway here this afternoon. It is some short track racing here this evening with the Metalheads Truck Series as the Rev Co Electrical 150 here from Myrtle Beach Speedway about to get underway. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as each and every one of these drivers looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here this evening, but it all starts right now in this qualifying session. Trying to set yourself up for a good start, trying to be in front of what could be a fairly chaotic race. It is very slick, it's very tricky to navigate yourself around this racetrack, and a lot of drivers we even saw here in qualifying pushing the limits, finding that edge of their seat, and unfortunately running into some problems. So we'll have to keep an eye on all these drivers and see if they can try to put themselves up and in to a winning position here this evening. As you do see that KR Gutters Ridge Power Sports number 87 ride. That is the beautiful machine of Mr. John Herbert out there on the racetrack, as he's going to be looking to try to lay down a quick time out there on the racetrack, as right now it's Clinton Woodby with the quick time here in qualifying. Matt Hayden there in second. Colton Hardy in third, Matthew Catania back in fourth, Skylar Berry, Mark Beverly, Daniel Dow, Rooster Rodin, and then we see Nathan Nixon and Ashley Ellison Jr. rounding out our top 10. Nick Gardner back in 11th with Dylan Poss. Nate Cogdell, Jesse Calloway, Keith Prince, our top 15. Caleb Kleiner there in 16th with Coop Reed, Joshua Moore, John Herbert, and Joe Bennett rounding out this 20 truck field of drivers here this evening. And it's great to see all these cats back out there on the racetrack after a week off with the Memorial Day festivities last Monday. We were off here. We did not see these drivers out there on the racetrack, but we get them back in action here tonight, and right out of the frying pan and straight into the fire, as this could definitely be a very chaotic race here this evening. This could make for a lot of fun, could make for a lot of treacherous driving out there on the racetrack, and a lot of drivers can run into problems here at Myrtle Beach, as we did see in the practice session a little bit, and we did see in the, that feature of, or that qualifying there, that these guys have their hands full. They are definitely trying their best to try to keep these things under control, trying to keep them pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, they have just ran into problems and have not had the runs that they were looking for. As Clinton would be in that pole position. We're waiting for him to jump out there onto the racetrack as Matt Hayden in that Razor. And Sonic Graphic Designs number 5 ride starting in position number 2. There is that winning bid Goldberg 92 machine of Clinton Woodby now out there on the racetrack. The QH Design, Sonic Graphic Designs winning bid number 97 to Colton Hardy. They're in third with Matthew Catania and his Medulus A Speed Shop, ShopFergie22.com. Metalhead's truck number 318 rolls there in fourth. Skylar Berry and his beautiful Ghost Energy Sonic Graphic Designs number 46 ride. They're in fifth, and he'll have the beautiful Asphalt Outlaws, the Mountain Dew looking Asphalt Outlaws. That is a very, very slick paint scheme there for that 13 ride. Definitely a beautiful looking machine there. The Bronco Race Designs team making this beautiful paint scheme out there on the racetrack, and Beverly will start in that 6th position. Daniel Dow in his Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 2 machine will be there in 7th with Rooster Rodden in the It's Morphin Time. That pink Power Ranger 01 will start back in 8th. And then we see starting in that 9th spot in the 40 ride. That is another one of those beautiful Sparkle and Shine Anything EC, the rock solid rings ride of Nathan Nixon to his outside in the 133 in the Turbo HP number 133. It's Ashley Ellison Jr. Dylan Poss, the 27 of Nick Gardner, Jesse Calloway, the 00 of Nate Cogdell and his Carolina Collision, Sonic Graphic Designs number 00 back there in 14th. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly back to Green Flag Racing here with the Metalheads Truck Series, as the 92 of Clinton Woodby leads the way down the back straightaway into 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. Everyone able to keep their truck for the most part door to door, and we do see that number 5 rider Matt Hayden using the outside lane, not only to lead lap number 1, but now to clear that 92 and take this race lead away from him. So a big power move right there out of that Razor ride as he jumps into the top spot out there on the racetrack. Woodby now trying to hang on to position number 2 is Colton Hardy now looking to his outside. Hardy looking to make that move and really trying to steal position number 2 away from the 92 ride. As Matthew Catania back there in third, Mark Beverly up and into 5th now on the racetrack. As there is our first caution flag. We figured it wasn't going to take long, and unfortunately, it is that Anything EC Sparkle and Shine Rock Solid Rigs number 40 of Nathan Nixon. Nixon runs into some problems here. Let's take a look back and see what happened here. Is just get back on the throttle. Unfortunately, the rear end steps out, goes around in. Quickly, iRacing going to throw that yellow flag. Luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid running into him and having some more contact or carnage out there on the racetrack. And luckily enough for that 40 machine, he's able to keep that thing rolling. Let's see if we can jump on board here and get a look from inside the cockpit here with this 40 ride. Let's play back just a little bit as you're going to see these guys roll down into corner number 1. You got to be off the throttle, on the brakes, and then as you start to come out of the corner, you're slowly getting back onto the throttle. And unfortunately, if you get onto it a little too much, a little too quick, it spins those rear tires, and that rear end will just snap out right around on you. That's exactly what we saw there for Nathan Nixon as our first caution flag of the day going to fly here for these drivers. So the first yellow out there on the speedway. We'll sack them up, we'll rack them up, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as this is going to be a fun one here this evening, as for a lot of these drivers, they're going to be able to try to keep themselves in the right direction. As we did get a little bit of an announcement earlier. This was about couple weeks ago. So in an effort to reduce the amount of cautions, probation, this will be given to drivers who have multiple races with cause cautions. If you are on probation, your penalties will be more strict, and we will follow the example below. So if you're on probation, unfortunately, first caution flag is a drive-through in a 1-lap hold under green. The second caution flag that you cause if you're under probation is a DQ. You get disqualified. You don't get a blizzard. You unfortunately got to park your ride and enjoy the rest of the race from the grandstand. So for any of the drivers that are on probation, you got to make sure that you kind of keep yourself out of trouble and not make any problems here this evening, as those problems can come up, jump up, and bite you in the butt in a quick hurry, as we will see our stage break at lap number 30. So hopefully we can get some good green flag laps in, see these drivers duke it out until lap 30, and then see that caution flag come back out again here this evening, as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle. Looks like we're going to jump right into single file restarts now. I kind of like that move. I think double file here at Myrtle Beach, it seems like it's a very tight technical track. Those drivers that go door to door can definitely send it in there a little too quick, make that quick contact, and cause a lot of back-to-back caution flags. So far, everyone nice and easy down through quarter 1 and 2, and so far it looks like that single file kind of paying off, as you do see that 51 machine. Oh baby, here comes that 51 right at Joshua Moore. Moore trying to race his way up to the front of the pack here as he's working to the outside here of John Herbert. Nathan Nixon a little farther back. You do see Keith Prince and Joe Bennett there bringing up the rear of the field as that 0-0, the Halloween machine, rolls there in position number 20 on the racetrack. As Matt Aiden continues to lead this race. Last time around, just laid down the quickest lap of this race. So the fastest lap out there on the racetrack now belongs to this number 5 Riders. He has that race lead. He has that fresh air. He's got nothing but clean track in front of him, and he is looking to try to set sail and run away with this one, as he is out in front, but right there behind him trying to hunt him down is that 97 of Colton Hardy. Clinton would be back there in the 92 ride, sits in third with Matthew Catania sitting solely there in third. Them at Jules 8 Speed Shop. Number 3 back there in fourth. Daniel down now up inside the top 5. Mark Beverly there in 6. Rooster Ronnie there in position number 7 with Skylar Berry, Ashley Ellison Jr., and Nick Gardner. North New Farm. This is a battle for the 9th and 10th position. Looks like Gardner will jump up and take that 9th spot away, moving Ashley back into position number 10. Is what's good, holler? What's good, mister? Hey, it's Kev coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube. Says, sup, big guy, sup, Kev? How are you, brother? Kev coming in, showing the love here in this one. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a very interesting race. Obviously, a lot of ups and downs for drivers. Everyone's trying to keep themselves out of trouble here this evening. And you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to have problems early on. You don't want to set yourself back, and unfortunately we do see another caution flag as we talk about it, having those early issues, running into problems and putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Unfortunately here for the Liquid Death number 4 ride. Looks like Jesse Calloway's going to run into some issues here himself as he sends it down into the corner. Looks like he's just going to maybe lose that rear end. He gets back onto the throttle and yeah, just loses that back end. The car goes around on him. He goes for a quick little loop, but stop there on the racetrack, going the wrong direction. They quickly throw that caution flag out. So a couple quick caution flags here early in this race. Luckily enough, not too much damage for either of those drivers. So solid start. Not too much damage, not too much carnage. Everyone else able to stay out of it. 2 single car spins out there on the racetrack to bring out our first 2 caution flags. And we inch closer and closer to the end of stage number 1 here this evening. Alrighty, so we're going to start a goal over there on YouTube as well, and we will love you long time if we can hit that goal, as we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one. And Skylar Berry trying to keep on moving forward here, unfortunately has fallen back about 6 spots, or 3 spots since he started back there in that 8th position. We do see Nick Gardner, he's up a couple spots now inside the top 10. Joshua Moore, he's up 6 positions in that beautiful University of Livet number 51, Riley Toyota, up 6 spots here. Started back in 18th, now up and into 12th. Caleb Kleiner, he's up a few spots in with Cooper Reed and John Herbert, as Nathan Nixon and Jesse Calloway, the 2 drivers that went for spins early in this race. Unfortunately, a little deeper in the field there, as we did see Dylan Poss. Poss did come down pit road. Same with Keith Prince. Some strategy here. Some drivers making some different calls, making these pit stops. So we do see Dylan Poss in that U.S. Navy number 11 ride heading back down pit side here. He doesn't have any damage on this ride, but looking at trying to make sure he's got this thing absolutely topped up with fuel, trying to see if that will help him out and put him into a good position here this evening. As here we go back to green flag racing. Looks like we are going to stack them back up here. We're going to go once again back double wide here in this one. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hang on to your hats, because things could get crazy here in Myrtle Beach Speedway. Is down through corner number 4 in hitting that Gutco restart zone. The 5 ride of Matt Hayden gets a solid jump over top of that number 97 to Colton Hardy. Hardy trying to hang on to it as everybody up and through the gears and back onto the brakes here, trying to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, as everyone trying to hang on, everyone trying to put themselves into what could be a winning situation or potentially some stage points here this evening, as that's what everyone's really wanting, man. Trying to get out of here, get some good points, and also trying to move yourself forward in those good standings here this evening. And for Matt Hayden, he's looking for that dub here this evening. He has been that reflection of perfection here this evening. Started in position number 2 there on the front row, was able to quickly take that race lead, and ever since then he's led every single lap out there on the racetrack, and he is not looking back. He does not want to see any of these other drivers even touch his back bumper, just trying to run away with this first stage as the laps click off in a quick hurry. Matthew Catania making a couple moves though on that restart, and Catania jumps up into position number 2. So Catania now in second, Colton Hardy back there in third. Daniel Dow there in fourth. As look out, a couple of drivers getting a little squirrely right there. We see the 0-1, a rooster run, and unfortunately slides back quite a bit there. See what that 92 of Clinton would be. See if we can play back and see the contact between these two as they end up getting together there. It looks like on corner entry here, they're door to door, and then down into corner number 1. That 0-1 just gets very loose, washes up the racetrack, bounces off the 92, puts him almost up into the outside fence, but both drivers lose a ton of speed, momentum, and all of a sudden, they see 5, 6, 7 drivers just go down low and right on around them, and now both drivers outside of an extra point here this evening, or a few extra points, as they are no longer inside our top 10. As Matt Hayden continues to lead the way, this time down across the line, we will click off 24 laps of racing action here in this one. So 24 laps down, only 6 more laps left here in stage number 1. As Matthew Catania, Colton Hardy, Daniel Dow, and now Nick Gardner up and into position number 5. Some quick moves out of that beautiful Napa Auto Parts number 27, and he has himself up inside the top 5. Ashley Ellison Jr. in the 13 of Mark Beverly battle door-to-door. This is a fight for that 6th and 7th spot on the racetrack. Skylar Berry's right there, as well as that 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell looking to try to move up and through the top 10 as he now jumps into the 9th position with Caleb Kleiner trying to follow him right off. Kleiner up and into 10th now on the racetrack. Joshua Moore just outside the top 10, going there at 11 with Coop Reed, Nathan Nixon, John Herbert, Clinton Woodby, Rooster Rodden, Jesse Galloway, Keith Prince, Joe Bennett, and Dylan Poss rounding out our top 20 here this evening as Hayden out in front will lead another lap and only a few more laps left to go here in stage number 1 here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button on the stream, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we keep on battling here in Myrtle Beach Speedway here this afternoon. The beautiful Myrtle Beach, North Carolina. Man, oh man, actually it's in South Carolina, isn't it? Myrtle Beach, I'm pretty sure it's South Carolina, not North Carolina. My gosh, what am I thinking here, chat? As Matt Hayden out in front leads another lap here. Only one lap left to go in this stage. Looking clean and green down through 1 and out of 2. He's got about 0.6 of a second between himself and Matthew Catania, so he can breathe easy down into 3 and out of 4. The 5 ride of Matt Hayden will lead and win stage number 1 here this evening. There is the caution flag for our stage break, and luckily enough for the 5 ride, he's able to hang on, lead all 30 laps, and pick up another big stage win for that 5 ride. Matthew Catania back there in second with Colton Hardy there in third. Daniel Dow and Nick Gardner are top 5 there in the first stage with Mark Beverly, Skylar Berry, Nate Cogdell, Caleb Kleinert, and Coop Reed rounding out our top 10. Ashley Ellison Jr. there in position number 11 with Nathan Nixon, Joshua Moore, Clinton Woodby, John Herbert, Jesse Galloway, Rooster Rodden, Keith Prince, Joe Bennett, and Dylan Poss rounding out our 20-car field here this evening. As we do see Matthew Catania. Catania comes down pit road. Mark Beverly also down pit sign, and Joshua Moore also heading down pit road here, but a lot of drivers did not come down pit side. We'll have to wait and see how that one works out for him, as Michaela says, get it, babe, let's go. Number 133 cheered on Ashley Ellison Jr. here this evening as that 133 ride rolls there in position number 9 on the racetrack as of right now in that beautiful Turbo HP number 133. So we do see a few more drivers elect to come down pit road here. Here comes Coop Reed, the 14 ride. Heads down pit side. Ashley Ellison Jr. also going to come down pit road. Unfortunately, that will lose a lot of track position for both of those drivers, and they will slide down to the back of the pack here as we do see Joe Bennett still down pit road, able to just get out in front of our pace car, and luckily enough, that will keep him on the lead lap here this evening. That could have gotten bad in a quick hurry there for that 0-0 machine. Luckily enough, able to keep on fighting on the lead lap here this evening. It's Matt Hayden and Colton Hardy getting ready for a big restart. We'll have to wait and see if maybe tires or fuel or what the game plan may be a little deeper in the pack here for a bunch of these drivers that were down pit road there on lap number 32 and lap 33. See if that can pay off and potentially pay dividends and put them up and into a winning pit cycle here this evening. There's only 34 laps in this race. We've still got a lot of racing action left to go. Still a lot of time to try to navigate your way to the front of the field. And for the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, he's just looking to try to keep these guys back there at bay. He wants to be that reflection of perfection. And now with our stage break out of the way, we are going to run potentially right down to the checkered flag. We may see this race go clean and green down to the checkered flag from this point on, and we may see a bunch of green flag pit stops out there on the racetrack, but I think that's easier said than done. I think we're going to see at least a few more yellows here this evening. This is a very tricky technical racetrack, and we're going to see a couple of drivers probably make those simple mistakes, just getting onto the throttle a little too quick, trying to get as much as they can, and unfortunately going around out there on the racetrack, so we'll have to wait and see if that happens. And there it is. You see the 40 ride, Nathan Nixon around, John Herbert, Mark Beverly all tied up in it. caution flag back out onto the racetrack. A big one down into corner number 3 here in this one, as a couple heavy hits right there. Nathan Nixon, one of the first ones to get tagged into it, is right there. John Herbert just gets in a little too quick, and those are the mistakes that we were talking about. We know drivers definitely are going to make these mistakes, and unfortunately this time it's John Herbert right after this restart trying to get as much as he can. Just gets in there with a big head of steam, gets into that left rear quarter panel of that 40 right. That's going to spin him around, and then you see Herbert, the 92, they both wash up the racetrack. Here comes the 40 of Nixon up into the outside fence, and unfortunately for the 92 rider, would-be can't get out of the way quick enough and slams into that number 40 machine. And then you do see John Herbert unfortunately continue his spin right here, and as he does get spun around, he ends up collecting that number 13 rider, Mark Beverly here. Let's watch this 87 right here, comes down the track, and nowhere to go for Mark Beverly as Beverly slams right into the side of him. Let's see if we can jump on board with that 13 machine and see what he can see here from the cockpit. Is a tough hit, heavy hit, and a bad break there for this number 13 ride as he's headed down the back straightaway, just looking for a solid run, trying to race his way back and towards the front. Sees a couple of drivers starting to get checked up, and all of a sudden there's that 87 right in front of him. Heavy front end damage, gets tanked, does go around and point in the wrong direction, and that puts us right back under the yellow flag here this evening. So another quick caution flag out there on the racetrack, and that means we're going to another quick restart here for these drivers to try to race their way to the front of the field. Now, we did see Beverly down pit road there on lap 37. We do see Clinton Woodby and John Herbert both still down pit road, hoping to try to get their trucks repaired, as there's Woodby down and out of the pit lane. Here comes John Herbert. Now, Herbert, it's going to be close. Herbert may go a lap down right here. Is our pace truck, I do believe, going to be out in front of him. And yeah, they're going to close that pit exit. And unfortunately for the 87 of John Herbert, he will go a lap down out there on the speedway. Heartbreaker there for him as Matt Hayden going to get ready for this restart. The lights are off the official iRacing pace truck. It looks like we are going to go single final here for this restart once again. So back to single file restarts out there on the racetrack is Matt Hayden getting ready for another big restart, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay as easy through that Geico restart zone. Excuse me, sorry about that, Janice. Man, a little bit of a late start right there for that 5 ride. Hayden not really on the throttle as quickly as I think he could have been, and that's going to keep Colton Hardy right there on his back bumper, trying to keep him on their toes, trying to keep him dancing out there on the racetrack. And for Matt Hayden right there, I'm not sure if this one's going to pay off for him or if this one's going to hurt him, as everyone's still battling. We see 2 wide back here a little deeper in the field. The 51 of Joshua Moore moves around the 00 of Nate Cogdell. Now here comes Jesse Calloway and Matthew Catania right there into that fight, as well as some of these drivers yet to come down pit road, yet to make a green flag pit or a caution flag pit stop or a pit stop at all here this evening, as Hayden, Hardy, Dow, Nick Gardner, Skylar Berry, Caleb Reinard, Brewster Rodden, and Nate Cogdell have yet to come down pit side. They have yet to jump out there and make a green or a pit stop yet here today. So I'm not sure if they're just trying to take that pit strategy and try to work it out here, maybe with track position. Maybe track position is a little bit more vital than maybe trying to save that fuel or trying to get more fuel into your truck, as they've already done 43 laps. They've had some caution flags. They've had some issues out there on the racetrack, so they've been able to save ever so slightly during those yellow flag conditions. And now here during the green flag, they just got to hope maybe we get another quick caution flag. Maybe we get another one here in the next, 25, 30 laps or something like that. If they can make it 75 laps or, whatever else, they hope to be able to make that pit stop during the green flag conditions and not a yellow flag, as we could see a lot of drivers like to stay out there on the racetrack and try to track those guys to let down or back behind them for quite a little while, as a lot of drivers came down pit road there during the lap 32, lap 33, even a bunch there during the last caution flag on 37 and 38. So there's a bunch of drivers that could potentially stay out, as unfortunately we do see Nathan Nixon. Nixon has taken his truck down pit road here, and looks like he's going to use up that quick repair. He'll try to get that car rolling back onto the racetrack, but being down pit road and getting some service, getting fuel, getting tires, and unfortunately for that 40 ride, he has now gone at least 8 laps down, maybe even 2 laps down, and they're on the racetrack. Heartbreaker there for him is down the back straightaway. You do see our race leader, Hayden, continue to lead the way, and yeah, unfortunately for Nathan Nixon, he did go 2 laps down there with that pit stop, but he's going to get a little lucky right there as the caution flag will come out, and he's already made that pit stop. Hopefully everyone else comes down pit road. Maybe he can leapfrog them all, as John Herbert will be saying thank you for that one, as Herbert in that lucky dog position, the free pass spot out there for that 87, and Herbert will get that wave around and back on the lead lap here this evening, as we saw that beautiful American Sign Language ASL number 3 ride here at Keith Prince. Prince running into some problems out there on the racetrack. Watch this 3 ride. Sends it down into corner number 1, nice and easy, and then maybe gets a little contact. I'm not too sure. It was definitely tight. Maybe a little something going on there, but let's see if we can get another angle at another look at this contact, as that Tiger Contracting. Right there, there's the contact. 14 rider Cooper Reed gets into him, spins the 3 ride down onto the apron. He locks it up, trying to stay out of that inside wall, and as he comes to a stop out there on the racetrack right there, that will bring that caution flag back out. As tower operator says, hashtag Michigan man, go number 51. Cheered on that 51 machine out there on the racetrack is right now Joshua Moore rolling in the 11th spot on the speedway, and now we do see all these drivers staying out here once again, not electing to come back down pit side. So I think maybe with these caution flags, or maybe with just enough fuel, Matt Hayden and Colton Hardy, Daniel Dow, Nick Gardner, and a bunch of these other drivers electing not even to come down pit side. Maybe they don't need to get any more fuel into their rides, but for some of these other drivers, maybe they don't either. So it's going to be interesting to see when our race leaders finally elect and decide to head down pit road and try to get some fuel, tires into their cars and rolling back out there onto the racetrack. So it'll be an interesting one here, to say the least, knowing that a lot of these drivers could come early. A lot of these drivers may come a little bit later, or trying to stretch that fuel as long as possible, and it may work out for them. It may hurt them out there on the racetrack, but for right now, it does. 51 laps here of racing action. Now, a lot of those have been under the yellow flag. A lot of them have been, unfortunately, during these caution flags, and a lot of the pit stops have been under the green flag or caution flag as well. So not a whole lot of drivers off the lead lap, especially as we just added John Herbert back on the lead lap. Now, Nathan Nixon, one driver out there really hoping to see a couple quick caution flags as he's a couple laps down. Would love to see himself get back into the battle here, back into the action this afternoon. He does not want to be a part of those yellows. He's going to be looking for a couple lucky dogs and back into the fight here this evening for that dog himself. As Matt Hayden, another good restart, trying to clear that 97 line as Colton Hardy sticks to his outside. Here comes Daniel Dow. Dow right into that fight at the front of the field as Skylar Barry moves around Nick Gardner and jumps up into position number 4. So Gardner now up into the 5th spot as Booster Rod inside back to position number 6, and they're free wide there for a couple seconds. And then all of a sudden you see that 961 of Caleb Kleiner. Better of that one, kind of rolled out of it, knew that was going to be a tricky spot to try to keep himself clean and through on the speedway. Down to corner number 2 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway here this evening. It's Matt Hayden. Hayden out in front leading the way is my boy Kevin Winker. What's good, Kane Dub? Kev coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook. What's good, mister? How are you this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day here this evening, as Matt Hayden out in front, Colton Hardy right there in second, staying to his back bumper, not letting him run away with him. And there we go, caution flag back on the racetrack, and this time looks like Joshua Moore gonna run into some problems here. Maybe a quick spin, take a look at it, see what happens as he's trying to work underneath of that 00 ride, as unfortunately there we do have a couple 00s out there, as Nate Cogdell just trying to keep this car rolling, trying to keep it pointing in the right direction, and does not help when you got drivers right behind you almost going into you. Luckily enough for 51 run, he's able to get checked up, avoid that heavy contact, but unfortunately not too lucky, as that is going to send him back to the rear of the field here. And he can try to recreate that and drive back up there. As you can see him already sideways, coming in with a little too much speed down through corner 1 and 2, and unfortunately, they just tries to keep himself from running into the back end of the number 0-0 there of Nate Cogdell. As Cogdell did get a little love tap right there as the 51 trying to do everything he can. You see the car already sideways there before even that little bit of a nudge right there into that left rear quarter panel back bumper of the 00. And luckily enough there, both able to keep them pointed. Both keep on racing here. And once again, looks like we're going to see all of our race leaders not come down pit side. They all stay out there on the racetrack. So this is an interesting one. Pit strategy, fuel strategy, potentially tire strategy. It's going to be wild to see how this kind of plays out. Obviously, a lot of caution flags early on in this race, and a lot of time just rolling out there on the speedway. So it could be interesting to see who can kind of, navigate and race their way potentially up into the race lead, or if the pit strategy kind of flip-flops for a lot of these other drivers. Will it help them? Will it hurt them? Will fresh tires potentially become a big gain out there on the racetrack here this evening? We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. As down across the line, they will complete lap number 59 here this evening, and we're almost getting towards that halfway marker out there on the racetrack. Is Hayden, Colton Hardy, Daniel Dow, our top three out there on the speedways. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a few more moments. Alrighty, here we go. Back to green flag racing. Here this evening is nice and easy. Back onto the lap pedal for the number 5 ride. As Matt Hayden out in front, continuing to lead the way here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. As Hayden out in front, Colton Hardy trying to stay right there with him to the outside. 1 and 2 on the racetrack now for multiple laps here this evening, but every lap so far has been led by Matt Hayden here today. But Colton Hardy giving it everything he's got, trying to change that statistic and trying to put himself into the number 1 position out there on the racetrack here in this one. As 61 laps complete, 62 this next time by the start finish line. Hayden will lead all the first 62 laps through this evening as Daniel Dow back there in 3rd. Nick Gardner there in 4th with Nate Cogdell now inside the top 5 as Cogdell there in 5th. We see Skylar Berry back in 6th. Will Fox, the first driver that has made a pit stop here this evening, sits there in position number 7. He was down pit road on lap 17. And there he is in 7th. And then we see Matthew Catania down pit road on lap 32. He sits in 8th. And then Rooster Rodden and Caleb Kleinert yet to come down pit road as well. So 8 of our top 10 drivers have not made a pit stop here this evening, but we do see Nate Cogdell. He's finally going to bite the bullet. He comes down pit side here this evening. As let's take a look and see what brings out this caution flag once again, as it looks like Cooper Reed, Mark Beverly potentially running into some problems here. Let's take a look here at the beautiful number 14 ride as his Majula State Speed Shop Fergie 22 machine just coming out at corner number 2 right there. Looks like he's going to get a little loose and unfortunately loses that rear end, and as he does, looks like maybe he gets a little tank into the back end, a little tail tank tag to that number 13 of Mark Beverly, and unfortunately for the Asphalt Outlaws ride, he goes for a skid down the backstretch here as well. And for the 14 ride, does make some pretty solid contact into that inside fence and some solid damage there for him. See if we can jump on board with this number 14 ride. See what he can see as he's just trying to keep on battling here down to the inside of that number 13 ride. Beverly can try to stay there to his outside. All of a sudden, there you go. There's just that rear end steps out and around on him, man. Just getting back onto the throttle. No traction down low, and unfortunately that car just hooks around and goes around, and all of a sudden now finds himself back deeper in the field. For Coop Reed, definitely not the issues that he wanted early in this race. For John Herbert, already having quite a few issues and problems here himself, and we do see, I do believe, Nathan Nixon getting back onto the lead lap, so some good brakes here for Nathan Nixon as those caution flags will give him a couple lucky dogs, and we are back to a full field on the lead lap. No one a lap down out there on the racetrack as we inch closer and closer to this checkered flag, and we still see Matt Hayden, Colton Hardy, Daniel Dow, Nick Gardner, Skylar Berry, our top 5, all yet to come down pit side here and make a green flag or a caution flag or a pit stop at all here this evening. So that's very, very interesting. It's very wild to see drivers not coming down pit road, especially as we're almost halfway through this race. But I think they're probably trying to stretch it here, trying to make it to a little over halfway into this race and then make a pit stop. Now they're hoping that they can do it under the caution flag and not the green flag, because that could quickly put them a couple laps down at the racetrack. But trying to minimize their trips down pit road for everybody else, they may still have to make at least one more pit stop through this evening. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Tire wear obviously has not been a major factor yet here today, as Matt Hayden did get a solid restart right there, but Colton Hardy to his outside. Hardy and Hayden door to door, and Colton Hardy will take that race lead away from Matt Hayden. So the first time here today, someone able to make that move and make the pass on that 5 right. As Hayden does slide back to second, Hardy now with the race lead as they once again battle door to door, down through 3 and out of 4. Drag race back down across the line, and it looks like Hardy will lead that lap as well. So Hardy now out in front, but you do see Matt Hayden trying to do everything he can, trying to find his way back into position number 1 on the speedway. As Daniel Dow, Skylar Berry, Nick Gardner, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. And then we see that beautiful 3 machine. That is the beautiful 318 ride and the 11 ride of Dylan Koss right there. 2 drivers that have already made pit stops here this evening. They roll in 6th and 7th now, and both of these drivers kind of race their way inside the top 5. Rooster Rodden has not come down pit road yet as well in that beautiful 0-1 ride. Pink Power Ranger here on the racetrack sits back in 8th with Jesse Callaway, Ashley Ellison Jr. Joshua Moore back up into 11. Seems like he's got some pretty good speed in that 51 ride, as we do see another driver run into problems. Look at Mark Beverly around. Mark Beverly put it in the wrong direction, stopped here on the racetrack, and I do believe we will get that caution flag once again. So caution flag coming back out as you watch this 13 ride. We talked about it. We've seen it time and time again here. Unfortunately, he just rolls down through here, and I think he gets any, maybe a little neck code right there. You did see that 14 ride blinking a little bit right behind him. Now, I don't know if they were close enough where, you know, maybe that contact would have affected this 13, but let's take a look and see if there's any neck code or what here. As you do see the 14 right there, gives him a shot right there. It's going to get that rear end a little bit jacked up, a little bit loose, as that was a little contact right there. That kind of gets him started there, then down onto the apron, onto the rumble strips down there, and unfortunately, that truck is going to continue to stay unbalanced and goes around, and that will bring us back under the caution flag. Now, here we go, Matt Hayden. Hayden does elect to come down pit side. Daniel Dow also on pit road here, as you do see Mark Beverly down pit side, John Herbert back down pit road, and for all these drivers, 4 of them making these pit stops here midway through this race, but we did see a handful stay out. Colton Hardy did not come down pit road here, so he's still rolling out there on the same tank of fuel, and we're almost halfway through this race. Skylar Berry there in second with Nick Garner in position number 3. Our top 3 yet to come down pit road, and our 6th place driver, Rooster Rodden, also yet to come down pit side. So only 4 drivers left here to yet pit this afternoon. So still a lot of time to, you know, make those mistakes or trying to learn what you need out there on the speedway to put yourself into what could be a winning situation here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that like button on the stream, hit that share button, and hit that follow and subscribe button. Is down across the line. 75 laps completed here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Halfway in, halfway to go here this evening. The second half of this race, it's only going to get trickier. It's only going to get a little bit more high pressured for these drivers. More opportunities to maybe make some moves and try to race your way to the front of the field. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe buttons. Here we go, back to green flag racing, and we'll jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here in Myrtle Beach. Contact in the caution flag will come back in here in this one. So a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up caution flag here this evening as we will take a look on board here. You watch this contact. Mark Beverly, the 00 Nate Cogdell, both right in front of what was our race leader here early in this race. There's the contact. Beverly gets into the back end of that 00. Unfortunately knocks that 0-0 around it for Nate Cogdell. He's slipping and sliding there, trying to keep that thing pointed the right direction. Hayden just able to clear him there and not make any contact. That could have been a whole lot worse. Watch me. Green and red and blue car right in front of these guys there, down through 3 and 4. And unfortunately, there's the contact. You see Nate Cogdell go around. Mark Beverly stopped there on the racetrack with them. Definitely not the spot that they wanted ended up here this evening, especially later in this race, trying to keep themselves out of trouble and trying to keep themselves with that track position. Unfortunately, both cats will go to the back of the pack and they will give up all that track position there on the racetrack as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. Once again, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as we do see Colton Hardy in front. Hardy continue to lead this race. He's at the front of the field and showing these drivers how to get it done. Here in this one is Colton Hardy, Nick Gardner, Skylar Berry, Rooster Rodden. Our top 4 still yet to come down pit road here. We did see Rooster making some moves there, driving his way up inside the top 4, but he's yet to come down pit side. So some very interesting pit strategy here this evening. A lot of drivers down pit road around lap number 30. We saw a bunch down pit road there around lap 56, 57, 58. Then we see a whole bunch of them come back down pit road there on lap 73-ish area, and now we see really a couple of drivers come down there on lap 82, but we still have 4 drivers out there and have not come down pit road yet this evening. So very, very interesting pit strategies for a lot of these drivers. We're going to get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing and back to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So once again, crank up that volume and cheer these drivers on. Alrighty, caution flag coming back out here in this one as it looks like Matt Hayden running into some problems here. Let's take a look at it and see what happens as Matt Hayden and a couple of these other drivers battling hard out there on the rear end. Right there, an unfortunate break there for the 5 machines. So does not make any contact with the inside fence. So that's a great break there for him. But definitely not wanting to run into any more issues out there as you can see a bunch of drivers end up coming down pit road here. So a lot of cats came down pit side. They end up making these yellow flag pit stops, and it's actually going to keep Matt Hayden somewhat still in the game here this evening. As Hayden going to come out of this in position number 10 on the racetrack, as he did not come down pit side, and a lot of drivers did come down pit road. We saw Colton Hardy, Skylar Berry, Rooster Rodden, Joshua Moore, Jesse Calloway, Matthew Catania, Coop Reed, John Herbert, Joe Bennett, Keith Prince all come down pit side here. So our top 10 still on a little bit older of a strategy here. Nick Gardner still the only driver out there on the racetrack yet to come down pit road. He has not made a pit stop here this evening, and that is very, very interesting here. No pit stops yet out of that 27 ride, and definitely not what you would expect here. Almost 100 laps into this race, not having a driver head down pit road is definitely a bit of an odd one for us, man. Not very often do you see that happen, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if it works out for him. Maybe puts him into a winning situation out there on the speedway, or how this may play out for that number 27 ride here today, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers ready to rock and roll, ready to duke it out here again this evening, and to see who can put themselves up and into the winner's circle here today, as this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be another great race and another great battle all the way down to the checkered flag here this evening. So they'll be looking to try to put themselves into the winner's circle. Who will get it done? Who will figure out the way into victory lane? As here we go, back to green flag racing. All these drivers trying to do everything they can to keep these trucks pointed in the right direction, as in front it is Nick Gardner, but Gardner, who sits back there in position number 1, he's got that 92 right of Clinton Woodby right there to his outside, and Woodby down across the line will take that race lead away from him. So Clinton Woodby leads this race, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up here as that beautiful number 92 ride out in front, leading the way now here today. As okay, I don't know what that's all about, or why that decided didn't want to stay at full screen, but nonetheless, here we go. We'll get ready to rumble and keep on battling out there, as Nick Gardner able to hold off that number 92, keep him back there at bay, and he keeps that race lead. So good piece of driving there for that number 27 ride, as he has yet to come down pit road, still rolling out there on those old tires, and he is not giving up. He is not backing down here today. He's looking to try to keep that 27 out in front, looking to keep all these other drivers back there behind him here in this one, as he continues to show them that he is the car to beat here this evening, as some absolutely great racing back here behind each and every one of these drivers, still battling door to door out there on the speedway, and everyone is trying to do whatever they can to try to put themselves up and into a winning situation out there on the racetrack. And as of right now, not a whole lot of drivers able to find their way out in front, or to make those moves to be able to beat that 27 ride here today, as man, some absolutely amazing racing, some absolutely amazing battles still brewing back here, as you see Nate Cogdell and this number 961 battling door to door out there on the racetrack, and it is going to be another caution flag that will fly. So the caution flag going to come back out here, as it looks like Jesse Calloway, the 4 machine, the Liquid Death Ride, going to have some problems, as he's sends it into the corner. Unfortunately, just loses that rear end, sliding around now, trying to keep it out of everyone else's way. And unfortunately, as he goes to try to keep it from skidding down the racetrack and in front of a bunch of these other drivers, he's just going to turn that wheel. The car comes to a bit of a skid and a stump, and all of a sudden, just trying to keep it out of everyone else. The car's going to go around right there as it just snap hooks back around. Luckily enough, he's able to stay on the binders and keep it out of the outside fence and keep on rolling here this evening, as we will get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as drivers trying to put themselves into what could be the winning situation. It's what's good, Carol coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook. How are you, Carol? Or Cheryl, not Carol. Cheryl Calloway coming in, says, go number 4. Jesse Calloway cheered on Jesse here this evening. Unfortunately, Cheryl, you did not want to see that one. Shake it off, Jess. Shake it off, she says. 100% shake it off. Get your feet back under you and try to race your way once again back to the front of the field, as here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here the next time around, as that will click off another lap and we get a little bit closer here to our checkered flag this afternoon. So the checkered flag not too far away for all these drivers, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's going to close in a quick hurry here. 109 laps down. We'll see 110 as we go back to green flag racing, and for that number 27 of Nick Gardner, still yet to come down pit side. He's electing to use those older tires and just trying to keep that track position. Track position may be key, may be the difference maker between winning this race, or just trying to get that fuel or tires or anything else. Maybe he's able to save a whole 150 laps here and make it to the end without having to make a single pit stop, which would be absolutely insane. As Bruce, Mr. Muleburger, coming in, dropping that follow over there on Facebook. Bruce, welcome to the Peacemaker family over there on the Facebook stream, brother. I appreciate that. Hitting that follow button over there as well, becoming a part of the Peacemaker fam there on FB as well here this evening. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing, as Nick Gardner, Clinton Woodby, Daniel Dow, Nate Cogdell, the 196 of Mr. Caleb Kleinert there in fifth, Dylan Poss, Colton Hardy, Nathan Nixon, Joshua Moore, and Mark Beverly running out our top 10. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Nick Gardner trying to hold on to the race lead. The 92 of Clinton Woodby trying to take it away from him. He's looking a little squirrely down the bench straightaways. You do see the 92 able to put his foot into the throttle. Now look out, a slide right there for the 00 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell goes for a power slide down here and blinks a little bit as well, but he does get a little help right here. I do believe the 11 of Dylan Poss going to get a piece of him. There you go. You get a good look at it as Poss gets in there a little too deep. Gives a shot to that Carolina collision ride, and that's what starts that power slide for the 00, and then blinks a little bit. Luckily enough, able to get that car back under control, keep on rolling. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green, but for Nate Cogdell, he is back here deeper in the field now. This is definitely not the spot he wants to be, and now we'll get the caution flag. There you go. He was hoping to see that yellow, and he's going to get one as the Power Ranger 01 going to go for a bit of a slide down here through corner number 1 and 2. Let's take a look back and see what happens here. Maybe some help, maybe some contact here for that Morphin machine, as here we go. I don't know if there's contact there or not between him and John Herbert, but nonetheless, the rear end kicks out, goes around, and that's going to get things a little bit more exciting here. Another late race restart, another late race caution flag. Let's take a look at it here. 01 comes down. Now it just looks like he gets back onto the throttle, and unfortunately for the Power Ranger ride, not able to use all the power here this evening, as that morphed into a caution flag. Not a good corner right there for that 01 machine. Not the morphing that he was hoping for here this evening. Here we go. We do see Nick Gardner, our race leader, finally decides to come down pit side. So Gardner finally makes that green or caution flag pit stop, or his pit stop here this evening. We also saw Daniel Dow back down pit road, Ashley Ellison Jr., Caleb Kleinert, Cooper Reed coming back down pit side here as well. So bunch of drivers making the calls to head down pit road as Clinton Woodby will have that race lead. So Woodby out in front. Dylan Poss there in second. Colton Hardy back into third as Nathan Nixon, Joshua Moore are top 5 out there on the racetrack. Skylar Berry, Mark Beverly, Matt Hayden, Matthew Catania, and Keith Prince are top 10 out there on the racetrack as Rooster Rodden there in 11th. Nick Garner back in 12th. Daniel Dow, Jesse Calloway, Ashley Ellison Jr., Caleb Kleinert, Coop Reed, Joe Bennett there in the 00, the Havoline ride. He's back in 18th. John Herbert, unfortunately, still a lap down score there in 19th. And now Nate Cogdell. Looks like Cogdell is taking his car right off the racetrack and out of this race. Heartbreaker there for Nate this afternoon. Definitely not where he wants to be out there on the speedway, and that is back down behind pit wall and watching the rest of these laps in the grandstands. So here we go. Stacked up door to door once again, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Is Eric Hardy? What's good? Eric coming in, show the love, says let's go 97. Cheered on Colton Hardy, our third place driver here this evening, is the winning bid. QH Design number 97 sits there in third, but here comes Clinton Woodby down to the Geico restart zone, and we are back to battle here at Myrtle Beach Speedway as the number 92 with a great restart would be looking to try to pick up another checker flag here on the season, but right behind him, Dylan Poss and Colton Hardy both battling hard here this evening as they're door to door for position number 2. Here comes Joshua Moore. He's up into position number 4 and looking for more out there on the racetrack. As that University of Levant, hopefully I'm saying that right, Levant machine rolls there in position number 4, and we will see the caution flag come right back out there as I'm not too sure what this caution flag was for. Who is that sideways there on the racetrack? That is the 14 rider, Coop Reed. So Coop Reed a little bit sideways right here. Watch that rear end just kind of kick in around on him. He's still trying to catch it, luckily enough. Does kind of get her stopped, but we do see the 0 on a Rooster Rodden and all these other drivers trying to avoid him there. And as the 14 ride was spinning, that's where we see that yellow flag fly. And fortunately for all these other drivers, that will be another big restart for them to try to figure out what they need to do, as we do see the 196 of Caleb Kleinert. Kleinert does elect to come back down pit road here, so Kleinert making an additional pit stop, going to lose a little bit more track position, as we did see Nick Gardner. How the heck did Gardner get all the way up here? Gardner making some moves there on that restart. Take a look back here and see if we can get a look here at this 27 right. So he's starting back in what, 4, 6, 8, and 13th on the racetrack. Inside lane gets moving a little bit quicker. He's around the 3 machine of Keith Prince. He's going to find his way around the 5 right here, I do believe, as well as Matt Hayden. And with a couple of drivers here running into issues, the 27 moves all the way up into the top 10 once again on the racetrack. So some big moves, some power moves out there on that restart. Nick Gardner, one of those drivers that were down pit road on lap 114, has some French tires. We'll see if he can use them to his advantage, as it's going to get interesting. This is going to get fun in a quick hurry to see who can try to put themselves up and into victory lane here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers continue to give it everything they got. Colton Hardy does jump up into second there. He was able to be scored just in front of Dylan Poss, so Poss will restart back in third. Now that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We've seen some power moves to the outside lane, and for Colton Hardy, we saw him early in the race using that outside group to make the pass around Matt Hayden. See if he can do it again here and maybe steal this lead in the win away from Clinton Woodby. As Woodby rolling there in position number 1, the 97 of Colton Hardy there in second. And then we saw connection issues here for the 11th rider, Dylan Poss. I'm not sure if Poss is still technically out there on the racetrack. He has not reappeared onto the race surface, so I'm not sure what's happened to the 11 ride. Nonetheless, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, as it looks like he may have lost connection here to the server. Looks like his internet may have dropped out for our third place driver. Definitely not what you wanted to see here late in this race. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Green flag back out into the air as Clinton Woodby leads the way as they head down into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4, and the caution flag will come right back out. So caution flag coming back out here in this one as the American Sign Language Tiger Contracting number 3 machine going to run into issues here. Is down into corner number 1. He's trying to roll nice and easy. He's got that 133 of Ashley Ellison right there behind him. Unfortunately, they make a little contact, and for the 3 ride goes for a slide down and out of corner number 2. Luckily enough, able to keep it out of the fence there, but unfortunately, as he does go around and try to get this car back out onto the racetrack, and we'll bring the yellow flag out here again this evening. So another quick caution flag, another quick restart coming up, and that gets us a little closer here to this checkered flag. And that's what we're talking about early on, about this track position. Track position may be key to try to win this race. You don't really get a whole lot of time under these green flag conditions to really make some moves or trying to race your way back up to the front. And for Clinton Woodby, Colton Hardy, Joshua Moore, Nathan Nixon, and Skylar Berry, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. They are sitting pretty right now with down across the line. It will be 126 laps complete, 24 more laps left to go here in this race, as we will see the lights stay on here. So we're going to get at least another lap around here in this one, so at least another lap out there on the racetrack before we get rolling here again.
Never be screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rebels on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete.
Alrighty, here we go, back to green flag racing here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's the 92 ride. A great restart right there, and back to the single file restarts for these drivers. Definitely what they are looking for here this evening, as for the 92 ride, Clinton would be able to get a nice clean and green restart, able to keep all these drivers back there off of his rear bumper, and he is just looking to try to keep that throttle down, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay as he rolls at the front of the field. Colton Hardy there in second, trying to hunt him down, and Joshua Moore up inside the top 3. Here in this one is Skylar Berry, Nathan Nixon make up our top 5. Now you do see Matthew Catania trying to make the move around that 13 line of Mark Beverly, and here comes Nick Garner back into this fight as well as Garner. Now up and into 8th. He's trying to make a couple more passes here, continuing to try to race his way up towards the front of the field, as you do see that 318 ride of Matthew Catania. Looks like Catania headed down pit road here. Oh no. What in the world? Catania heads down pit side here on lap 131. Only 19 laps left in this race. It makes a green flag pit stop. I'm not sure if something broke for that 318 ride or what may have happened, but nonetheless, he takes that Majula Safe Speed Shop, ShopFergie22.com ride down pit road for a pass-through penalty. Oh no. Heartbreaker there, pass-through penalty for the 318 ride, a restart violation, and unfortunately, he goes from battling just outside the top 5 to all of a sudden back in 17th and a lap down out there on the racetrack. As Clinton Woodby continues to lead the way, Colton Hardy right there with them, only half a truck length separate our top 2 out there on the racetrack. Joshua Moore a few 0.2 of a second back behind these guys. And then we see Skylar Berry and Nick Gardner back up inside the top 5. Now for Gardner, he's a little far back here from our race leader. He's about 2.5 seconds back from Clinton Woodby right now, and he would love to see maybe another caution flag fly where he can maybe make a couple more moves and try to navigate his way back towards this race lead here this evening. Is the strategy maybe working out here for that 27? Definitely has a fast truck, making some big moves out there and racing his way back up inside the top 5 here in a very short period of time, especially with not a lot of green flag laps out there on the racetrack. As Clinton Woodby continues to hold on to this race lead, you do see Colton Hardy right there behind him. Hardy right on his back bumper as Joshua Moore there in third, hoping to try to track both of these guys down in battle and make this a 3-car fight up here for the race lead. But Woodby out in front, just trying to keep these guys back there at bay, trying to keep himself out of trouble here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do you think the 92 ride will get it done? I'm not sure if they're teammates, but I know both of these two drivers sponsored by the Winning Bid Diecast and Car Brakes team. So that is absolutely amazing to see two of these Winning Bid rides up there battling at the front of the field as the QH Design Sonographic Designs machine trying to take this win away from Clinton Woodby. And we will get a caution flag, and we did see Nick Gardner make the move around Skylar Berry. So Gardner up into 4th, Berry back to 5th, and the caution flag will come out here with only 12 laps left to go in this race. So let's take a look back and see what happens. It looks like Mark Beverly, who is back up inside the top 10 here, had himself a very up and down day, and then all of a sudden trying to stay out of the 40 right there. Nathan Nixon, Daniel Down doesn't realize that the 13 has to kind of roll out of the throttle here a little bit as the 40 right a little sideways there just in front of the 13, and he has to kind of let out the throttle. So doesn't the 13 ride, and as he does, unfortunately for that, Broncos Race Designs ride gets turned around in heavy contact into those tractor tires there. The safer barrier down on pit entry, and man, what a hit right there for that 13 ride. This one had to avert if all of a sudden gets turned around. Luckily enough, it's not into the driver's side door, but man, that's still a very, very big hit, and that may be race over for that Bronco Race Designs Asphalt Outlaws CEVR. The serve machine, unfortunately, having a tough hit right there, up inside the top 10, and now all of a sudden, that back deep in this field and still down pit road, going multiple laps down, scored back in the 17th position. Dylan Poss, Coop Reed, and Nate Conkdale. Looks like their nights have all come to a close. Matthew Catania was really hoping for that lucky dog in the free pass back onto the lead lap, and he was able to get it right there. So he's back on the lead lap. Our top 16 all lead lap drivers here getting ready for what could be our final restart of the day. Do you guys think that will be the final restart, or do you think we see a couple more? Do we go to NASCAR overtime here at Myrtle Beach Speedway here this evening? We're about to find out. We're about to see how this is going to play out, how this race is going to finish, and who will claim the checkered flag in the win here this evening at Myrtle Beach. As Clinton Woodby, Colton Hardy, door to door, 1 and 2 on the racetrack there at the front of the field. Joshua Moore in 3rd, Nick Gardner back there in position number 4 and looking for more. Skylar Berry there in 5th with Matt Hayden back up into 6th. Jesse Calloway, Nathan Nixon, Rooster Rodden, and Caleb Kleiner to our top 10 out there on the racetrack. As here we go, down through corner 3 and out of 4. The green flag will be back out into the air as the 92 looking for a big restart. He's able to get it. Got a great shove and a great push down from the 51 right of Joshua Moore. Now Moore trying to take position number 2 away from that 97 right. It's looking out. Nick Gardner almost getting a little sideways right there out of corner number 2 as he's trying to stay in front of this 46 as Skylar Berry not the restart he was hoping for there with that outside lane, and unfortunately not able to get right back into this battle here towards the front of the field as we do see Colton Hardy, Joshua Moore exchange a couple slide jumps and crossovers right there, and for the 51 right, he is just ever so slightly out in front of the 97, and this is exactly what our race leader wants to see, but he did not want to see that as the caution flag will come back out. Caution flag back out onto the racetrack here in this one as it looks like Jesse Calloway. Tough break here for Calloway again here this evening. Looks like contacted. He is Raced his way back inside the top 10 here, and then all of a sudden, looks like Caleb Kleiner just going to get in there a little too far, gets into that left rear quarter panel, knocks that truck loose, slides him up the speedway, hard contact into the outside fence. Definitely not how Jesse Calloway drew up this race here today, and he's gotten tied up in a few different incidences, and unfortunately here, this one late in this race, that's a very couple heavy hits, and that may be night over for that 4 ride, and unfortunately lost a lot of track position. And then we did see Nick Gardner, who had raced his way up inside the top 5 here as that caution flag came out. Gardner trying to stay in position number 4. Looks like Skylar Barry's just going to get into him right there. Barry gets into him, and that gets him kind of sideways. Now, he's going to get checked up out there on the racetrack. So watch this contact right here. Barry's just going to give him a little bit of a love nudge, and as that happens, it's more or less net code, but a little bit of a love tap right there. And as that truck gets sideways, no drive out of corner number 4, and that car just trying to keep itself straight here. Unfortunately, Matt Hayden's going to come in there, get a big piece of him, spins that 27 right around as the caution flag was already coming out for Jesse Calloway. The 27 goes for a loop-de-loop and definitely now stuck deep in this field. The 27 scored back in 15th. Heartbreaker there for him, battling up inside the top 5 there. Now finds himself back outside the top 10, man. Definitely not the run he was hoping for. Matt Hayden able to jump back up into 5th there as he was able to get onto the binders and avoid that 27 ride. So, man, that's a tough break. That is a heartbreaker there as Skylar Barry gave him a shot. He was trying to save it. Hayden takes him out and around it. He still sees that 46 and the 5 ride sitting up inside the top 5 as Gardner all the way back there outside the top 10. And watching these guys duke it out here at the front of the field as Clinton Woodby looking for another big restart here, trying to keep these drivers back there at bay as we will see that green flag come back out. It will be a green-white checkered here, not NASCAR overtime as of yet, but a green-white checkered nonetheless. Single file restarts exactly what Clinton Woodby wants to see as there's that green flag. 2 laps left to go here in this one. Joshua Moore there in second, looking for a big run here in that 51, looking to see if he can find that extra gear to jump up here and maybe make the move and steal this win away from the 92. But the winning bid, Goldberg ride down at a corner 4 and will stretch that race lead out, and we'll see that white flag fly. So the next flag will end this race no matter what, is the 92 for the final time here this evening. Will lead us out at 2 and down the back straightaway for the final time down through 3 and out of 4 here in the Rev Co Electrical 150. It's the 92 of Clinton Woodby who finds victory lane here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Clinton Woodby and will pick up the win and keep all of these Metalhead Truck Series drivers back there behind him here this evening. And Joshua Moore will come home in second and Colton Hardy there in third, but it's all Clinton Woodby as Woodby picks up the checker flag here this evening. Drivers coming up giving him some congratulations, and he may even be out of fuel here as the 5 ride pushing him here down to the line and up onto the front straightaway. So I'm not sure, potentially the 92 rider Clinton Woodby making it that tight here this evening. I'm not sure if he was just getting a little helping hand right there, or potentially this truck is out of fuel. Doesn't look like it. He's still got enough in there to do a little bit of a burnout here. He's going to get ready to celebrate. Big win here for that 92 ride from the pole position. It's an up and down day for everybody, but he was able to navigate his way back to the front of the field, and he puts himself right up and in to victory lane here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive here tonight as we'll get ready to pull both these drivers, all 3 of our top 3, up and into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. As tower operator says, good race, definitely good race. A few more caution flags than I'm sure we really wanted to have, but I think that was going to be expected here at this racetrack, man. Definitely a very tricky one, a very hard racetrack to navigate the battle out there on the speedway. So good to see these drivers, though, able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, keep on battling and racing their way to the front of the field. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you haven't yet, man, make sure you guys help us out here a little bit over there on Facebook, over there on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the stream right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit that share button if you're feeling courteous. Definitely make sure you guys hit that follow and subscribe button. Become a part of the Peacemaker family here today. Whether it's over on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, make sure you become part of the family here on Peacemaker Gaming. And make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, as you never want to miss the racing action here on Peacemaker, as we'll get these drivers ready to jump up here into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Clinton Woodby, as Woodby picks up the checkered flag. We're going to get him up here into the booth. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us back through this one. Obviously, quick time there in qualifying. You start out in front, but early on you lose that top spot. Matt Hayden able to take it away from you, and then you're trying to battle there. You're trying to hang on to that second, third position for a little while. Then some pit strategies kind of come into play there. And slowly but surely, you navigate your way back to the front of the field late in this race, and you're able to jump out in front. And from the time that you got that race lead back away, you are not giving up here, even with all those late race caution flags and restarts, and having the 51 or the 97 rider Colton Hardy there trying to knock down your door, trying to knock you out of that top spot. You're able to hang on to it and drive yourself up and into the Myrtle Beach Speedway victory lane, man. Take us back through this race and what's kind of going through your mind now as the dust settles here in Myrtle Beach.
In my mind, it feels like how that race probably looked on the broadcast, just wild. I don't know how I got pole. I was like 11th or 12th in practice, and all of a sudden everybody else got slower and I got faster. I didn't want to be there, but I was. I just tried to save at the beginning because we only had one set of tires. And then I think I failed at like 5th, and then Rooster got loose and come up and got into me, and we and him both lost like 10 spots. And I was just ultra save mode after that, and I just tried to play the caution right when people kept staying out whenever we could make it on fuel. I'm like, well, I'm just going to pit now and hope whenever I get out front, I can stay out front, and I managed to stay out front.
Absolutely managed to stay out in front of the field here. And now, obviously, one set of tires here. How, vital were those tires here this evening, as we saw a lot of different strategies here for drivers on when they were coming down pit side and utilizing those fresh tires. We saw a lot of drivers stay out until closer to that lap 100 area. We saw the 27 of Nick Gardner not come down pit side at all until about lap 114, where we saw your last pit stop was back on lap 58 here this evening. So was fuel an issue, and how vital were those tires out there on the racetrack?
It was kind of weird. The tires didn't really fall off much as they just heated up. So if you just kind of raced at a decent pace without breaking your tires loose and just overdriving the corner and burning the fronts off, you could kind of save them a little bit. But in reality, all the cautions are what kept me up front. If we would have stayed green for the last 40 laps, I would have definitely been passed by Colton. I know he had fresh tires, and then I think the last restart, or second to last restart, I seen Nick was up there already, and I knew he just pit for tires like 10 laps before that, and I was like, well, he's coming. So it was a lot of just don't look behind, look ahead, think about the finish.
Absolutely, brother. Well, they make the windshield bigger than that back window for a reason, because it's always better to look ahead and not look back there behind you. And here tonight, looking ahead to a checkered flag and a big win here, and some more points and a little bit more bonus points here towards the playoffs as well for you, Clinton. How vital was this race for you? Obviously, being able to get this win, get some solid points on the day, and park this 92 ride back up in victory lane.
Yeah, it's always a good day to get a little bit extra bonus points because I always seem to miss out on stage points. So if I can get more points for winning, then I'll do it that way, I guess.
Definitely not a bad way to get them out there on the racetrack, man. It's always good to have you up here in victory lane, man, as that Goldberg ride, the winning bid machine, looking strong and obviously picking up another big win here today. Clinton, who would you like to thank for such a great performance out there on the racetrack?
Shout out to my girlfriend, Megan. Blair Peterson, the winning bid. Go get your die cast from him. you guys for the broadcast, the league, and my teammates Matt and Dylan. And we'll see what happens next week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack next Monday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Clinton, congrats on the race win here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and we'll see you back out here next Monday.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Oh, yeah, I'll try not to.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Clinton Woodby. As Woodby picks up the checker flag here this evening. The 92 right up and in the top spot as he was pretty happy, pretty excited, picking up another big win here this evening. But we'll get ready now to go to the opposite point of the side here. Obviously, the opposite side of the coin. Getting the tails on the end of this race, and unfortunately, right there on the back bumper on the tail end of this race win was that 51 ride of Joshua Moore, as Moore comes up one spot shy of trying to find victory lane here this evening himself, and we'll get ready to pull that number 51 up and into the booth. Hey Joshua, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Gotcha, man.
Josh, man, solid run, solid drive here for you today. Obviously, a lot of ups and downs for everybody here with the tire strategy there with the one set and a little bit of fuel out there and all these different pit stops and everyone just trying to keep their trunks underneath of them, trying to keep rolling and staying in the pointed right direction here. It's tricky for a lot of drivers here tonight. Even yourself got tied up in a couple incidences out there, but you're able to keep on battling and raced your way right up here into position number 2. Just not a lot of time left there late in this race to try to duke it out with Clinton Woodby for that race win.
Yeah, ended up getting an EOL from Charlotte 2 weeks ago. Started in the back. I'm not really a short track guy, and I didn't even own this track before tonight. So I wasn't really expecting much, so I'm absolutely thrilled with the second place. But yeah, I felt I'm actually kind of I was thrilled about the only one set of tires thing. I didn't feel like I was too fast in the short run, but I felt really good on the long run in practice. So only having that one set and being able to go those long distances really helped me out there.
Absolutely. A little bit of those longer distances and making those different pit calls out there, man. How difficult was it to kind of navigate that tire strategy with the one set out there on the racetrack and seeing everyone else making pit stops, fairly sporadically, and seeing a lot of drivers stay out late in this race before finally coming down pit side? What was kind of going through your mind there throughout this race when it came to the tire wear, when it came to potentially the fuel mileage as well?
Yeah, at first, my plan was kind of just to fuel it out, and then I got to that stage caution at lap 30, and I thought, hey, I could probably pit here and make it to the end if we went green. I think that was just wishful thinking. I don't know why I thought we'd go green for 120 laps there. But yeah, started to go a little deeper, and started making my way through the field again. I think I got up to like 5th with like 50 laps to go, and I thought, hey, I still got a fresh set here, and I think everyone else is going to pit in, so I pit in with everyone else. Was able to come back out with the leaders, and able to work my way back up to the front with Colton there, and able to get by him for second.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to squeeze by him late in this race on one of those final restarts and snag that second spot away from him here this evening, Josh. Heck of a run, heck of a drive for the 51 here today, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, first off, I got to thank Muehlberger Custom Homes, Bruce Muehlberger. He's been with me for a while now. I can't believe it's taken this long to just get an interview with you this season. I feel like I've been up here, been at the front for every race. It's just taken too long to actually finish one off. And of course, it comes at the track I was least familiar with. But yeah, also got to thank my Plus EV guys. Only had Joe show up tonight. I think Paul had a penalty from last week, and I think our other two guys were out. But yeah, can't thank those guys enough. They're so fun to race with every week. Then I got to thank my parents for watching this, paying the internet bill here. And then lastly, I got to thank you for broadcasting this stuff.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure watching you guys duke it out there on the racetrack, man. And as you said, definitely one that you didn't really expect to find your way up onto the podium as you had to just buy this racetrack. I had to just buy it as well. I didn't even know Myrtle Beach had a racetrack until about 10 minutes before this race when I downloaded it. But, man, what a run, what a drive for you, man. And that was a heck of a drive, heck of a battle out there. And congrats on the second place finish. Maybe now that you got the monkey off your back, more trips and opportunities for that 51 ride to jump up here into the broadcast booth post-race.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I'll be talking to you maybe next week. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you there. Enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully we'll see you back up here maybe one spot better in Victory Lane next Monday. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher here this evening. The 51 of Joshua Moore as Moore comes home in position number 2 here this evening. As we'll get running out of pole in our third place driver, the 97 ride, the QH Designs winning bid machine. It is the 97 of Colton Hardy who comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Let's get Colton up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Colton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Colton, man, solid run, solid drive here for you in this one. Obviously, a very fast car. We saw you early on, able to race your way up, end up actually taking that race lead away from Matt Hayden after he led the first, 60 or so laps of this race. You're able to jump out in front of him shortly thereafter. You make your pit stop and you give up that race lead, and all of a sudden you got to try to battle your way back up through the field, through some of that chaos, and here you are late in this race, right on Clinton Woodby's back bumper, trying to figure out a way to get around him. And as you're trying to beat and bang and battle with the 92, all of a sudden, Joshua Moore on one of those restarts able to steal that second place finish away from you here this evening. He's going to settle in for third here late in this race, man. Take us back through and what's kind of going through your mind here as the smoke settles here at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
This is going to be one that I'm going to look back on for a while. There was a couple of things I could have done differently there in the last closing restarts. I know I was pushing it way too hard. I was getting the tires way too hot, trying to catch Clinton, and I knew if I just stayed on his bumper, I was going to take a shot at him, not absolutely clean him out and try to take the win. But I hit the wall in the back straightaway on the second to last restart and just kind of cost it all away. But the way I don't like playing the pity card or the poor me card, but I'm going to look at this like what could have been, because I was up there. We ran top 3, top 2 most of the night, and untimely pit stop. I should have pitted probably 10, 15, 20 laps sooner, and maybe I would have had a better chance. But it all shakes out the way it does, and hopefully the win's coming. I'm I like talking to you, but I'm tired of finishing second, third. I just want to get the first out of the way.
Absolutely, a slew of podium finishes, man, but it's always better to be that winner. As being the bridesmaid is never fun out there on the racetrack, and I'm sure one of these nights before long we'll finally see that 97 up here in victory lane. But Colton, a great run, a solid drive for you here this evening, man. Who would you like to thank for the great car here today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Blair Peterson over at the Winning Bid Diecast and Card Breaks. Check them out for all of your diecast. He's got an old diecast, new diecast, autographed diecast, anything you could want diecast. He either has it or he will try his best to hunt it down for you. Same thing with Card Breaks. He does a lot of cool little mixing boxes together, different card breaks. My other sponsor, QH Design, for all your t-shirts, hats, apparel, decal, anything custom you need, get a hold of me. I can get you taken care of. I know my dad and stepmom's watching at home, so I appreciate them watching. The admin, of course, without the admins, things wouldn't. Tonight wasn't really that smooth, but things wouldn't go as smoothly as they do. And of course, you for putting on a great broadcast every week. You do a great job on it.
I appreciate that, brother. And Colton, heck of a run, heck of a drive here again this afternoon here in the Metalheads Truck Series and in the Rev Co Electrical 150 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. As you round out our podium here this evening, man, heck of a drive, heck of a run and battle there at the front of the field. And hopefully, again, next week we'll see you right back up here fighting for the win again and maybe finally able to break that cherry and put yourself into the top spot.
Hey, I hope so. Homestead's one of my one of my self-proclaimed best tracks, and that's where I got my first ever league top 3. So hopefully we can go back and try to better that. Homestead is definitely a strong track for me.
Alrighty, well, we'll look forward to keeping that 97 ride on the broadcast and seeing how you do next week, and hopefully see it right up there in victory lane. Colton, enjoy the rest of your night, and congrats again on the 3rd place run.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Colton Hardy, as Colton coming home there in position number 3 here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that will bring a close to the racing action and the interviews here this evening. As the broadcast coming to a close, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everybody coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers. They're on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and can't wait to see you guys back up here in the grandstands watching and cheering these drivers on, as we'll be back to live racing action again tomorrow night. Right back with these NASCAR trucks. A lot of these same drivers will be in attendance, and they will be racing again tomorrow evening with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. So make sure you guys have those bell notifications turned on. Make sure you are a follower or subscriber here on Peacemaker Gaming and become a part of the family here, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it. When we go Green Flag Racing, we'll be back live right before 8:30 Eastern time tomorrow evening for more truck racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. But we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and everyone showing the love here in this one, and we will see you guys back out there on the racetrack tomorrow night. Thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all later, baby. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lane. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. moment surreal. Checker flag whispers a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Myrtle Beach screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Peacemaker friction sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each